Hey guys, in this video we're looking at Cerakote's ceramic headlight restoration kit, and I'm showing you guys why this is undoubtedly the best headlight restoration kit that I've ever used. And to use it and fully restore your headlights, you don't need anything except for this kit. No power tools whatsoever. So real fast before we get started, I just want to show you guys what comes inside of each bag here, because it's got a couple different things that I want to make super clear. So number one, you have two different sets of gloves. Number two, you have the Oxidation Remover. This is the first main step here, the Oxidation Remover wipes. And then you have the ceramic clear coating, kind of the finishing step wipes. So these are the two main kind of solution pads you have. And then you have a couple different sanding discs and the sanding disc, what would you call this? Sanding disc block or holder. And you've got directions here. Now just to give you guys a little bit of an idea, this is the headlight that I just finished here. I'll give you a couple different angles of it. So this is totally restored, and then this is what it looked like before. So here is that headlight beforehand. So here we go. Now the first step before I do anything is simply to wash the headlight really thoroughly. So I'm just gonna take my hose, some all-purpose cleaner, I'm gonna agitate it with a detailing brush, wash it off, and move into the restoration. Alright, now the headlight's taped off, and I did that just because I am going to be using some sanding discs and I don't want to sand any of the paint off. I'm taking step one. There's 4 of these little towels, the oxidation removers. I'm going to be using all 4 of them. So when you open it up, you want to make sure you're using gloves, by the way. None of this stuff has like deep, horrible fumes, so you don't necessarily have to wear a mask. But the oxidation remover, you're going to take it to the headlight after it's totally cleaned and swirl it around like this in circular motions. I'm gonna apply a pretty good amount of pressure to it. So as I'm applying a pretty good amount of pressure, I'm gonna make sure that as I do this, I'm covering all of the areas of the headlight. Now, yes, the directions say you need to move in a circular motion. I will say when you get into these kind of nook and cranny areas, you can go back and forth like this. It's not gonna like detrimentally affect anything as far as the end result is concerned. Now, you're gonna start to see that the wipe is going to start to yellow. When it gets really yellow like this, I do flip it over. It gets yellow really quickly. That's actually a good thing. That's on purpose. It's pulling off all of that oxidation that's been sitting on the headlight. So, I flip it over, I keep going for about another minute on the other side until that's super yellow, and then I'm gonna take another wipe and do the exact same thing. I'm gonna repeat this process 4 times. So I'm gonna be using 4 wipes, so I'm gonna go through all 4. And as I switch between them, I'm just gonna go from towel to headlight, towel to headlight. I'm not wiping anything off. So once again, going through 4 of the towels. As they yellow, I'm gonna throw them away, do another one. When I'm done with 4, we'll come back in after I rinse it and show you guys what the next step is. Now you can see after my 4th wipe is done, it's a lot less soiled, less yellow, which is good. But even if you have some yellow, browning, dirtiness on the towel, totally fine. After the next step, all of the rest of that oxidation is gonna be taken off, so don't worry about that. So I'm gonna rinse it off real fast, then we'll move on. Alright guys, so now that I rinsed the headlight, I'm going to take the red sanding disc here. This is a 2000 grit sanding disc, and I'm going to take the little applicator here, which is a lot of times called a sanding block. So here we go, it velcros to the back of it. Now you're going to take this sanding disc. For those of you who don't know, if you're not a detailer and you're just restoring your headlights at home, this is called wet sanding. The reason it's called wet sanding is because I'm leaving my headlight wet, and I'm going to get the sandpaper wet, and I'm actually going to sand the headlight while it's wet, because the water will allow any of that clear coat and oxidized junk that gets sanded off, the water will allow it to flow out of the headlight so that I don't gunk up my sandpaper. So this sanding process is going to remove the rest of the oxidation that chemical wipe did not remove. I'm gonna move from the red sanding disc after about 2 to 3 minutes of using it all over the headlight. I'm gonna move to the gray sanding disc, do the same thing for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then we'll come back in. But check out the wet sanding process. Now one other thing guys is you'll notice that I'm actually using this in just a horizontal pattern. Yes, when I get into these nooks and crannies, I can maneuver it the way I need to. I can even take the disc off and start maneuvering it in these more difficult places that maybe the sanding block is not going to allow me to get. But I do want to keep it horizontal motions here for reasons that I don't really want to go into, but point is, when you come to the final step of this product that's going to self-level, it's easiest for it to seep into the divots of the sanding marks in one direction. So the more you can keep it horizontal, the better. All right, now after I've sanded everything, you're gonna see a cloudy appearance because obviously these are a bunch of sanding marks that have been sitting on the headlight. So the process here is removing actually a small layer of clear coat that sits on top of the headlight. That's actually why you have to sand it off. So now the question is, how do we restore the glossy appearance now that the yellow is gone and the oxidation is gone? It almost seems like we've created a new problem with all of these cloudy appearance kind of sanding marks. So we're gonna take the ceramic clear coating. This is step 3. It's very important to understand that the headlight needs to be completely dry before you apply this. So I dried it with a towel and I spent several minutes drying it with a leaf blower. So there's no water anywhere. This is not going to react well with water. And if you see any particularly shiny spots of the headlight, you should go back over those spots with the sanding disc because that needs to be sanded more. The shine is actually a clear coat that's still laying there that you want to make sure you pull off. I'm going to do this in horizontal applications and do one layer at a time, just pulling it across the headlight. I'm only going to do one layer. So check out what this looks like with this towel. And yes, I'm getting a little bit on the paint. That's okay. I'm gonna wipe it off just a little bit later. So you can see as I pull this across the paint that in my experience with a lot of these types of products in the detailing world, they kind of have this self-leveling formulation about them. So they're filling in these kind of sanding marks, the little crevices created by the sanding marks. And I'm just gonna go over the headlight and make sure I didn't miss anything. A lot of times you can miss around the edges here, so I can go back over that. And that's literally it. I'm gonna let that sit for 60 minutes and dry before it gets exposed to any water or anything. But let's go ahead and take a look at the after of both of these headlights. So here's the first one that has had time to dry. This is about an hour later. This is what you're looking at, all right? And the second one here is still drying, but after about 60 minutes, it's gonna look the exact same way. Pretty much looks the exact same already. But I just wanna give you guys a bunch of different angles here so you can see kind of what you're looking at here. Dramatic before and after. And guys, the other amazing thing about this product is that it is going to last for the lifetime of the vehicle. So when this is finished and when those headlights are perfectly clear and that ceramic part of the product has been layered onto the plastic of the headlight, this oxidation and yellowing isn't gonna happen again. This is gonna be a lifetime protection. So guys, there you go. That's the Cerakote ceramic headlight restoration. So not only does it restore the headlight like you saw, but it also puts that ceramic protection on it, much like their trim coat does. So there is protection left on this headlight, so it's not gonna go oxidizing and yellowing like really quickly because there's nothing guarding it. So kind of an all-in-one product. So this kind of stuff I geek out on because I love new detailing technologies like this. So if you guys wanna check it out, I'm gonna hook up an Amazon link below for you guys to click on that and see the product. Thank you guys so much for watching. Listen, if you guys like videos like this, then go ahead and subscribe to the Wilson Auto Detailing channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos that I put out. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and as always from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working hard, and I'll see you guys in the next video.